Hey guys, what's happening? This is Forgo Nation, and I thought I'd show you guys this little Shadowland character guide that I developed for you guys. The EA equals 83% means that I have 83% energy attack on my cards, and the PA stands for physical attack, and I have 55% physical attack on my cards. The clover, which is representing green, means level 70, so all the characters that are highlighted in green means they're level 70 or tier 3. And the characters that are in aqua means they're just still level 60. All the characters on this list for Shadowlands are based on my account and my cards, you guys. Everything's based. So there might be some characters on your account that can do better than this. If they're built better, if you have better cards, maybe you can do more. Maybe you can do a higher stage. A lot of these characters, especially all these level 60 characters, can definitely be built much better. So one little tidbit that I can give you guys about this is all the fire characters, Inferno, Satana, Dormammu, Ghost Panther, Human Torch, all these characters I used in fire relays, and that's the relay with Agent Venom and Carnage. That thing, if you bring in those characters, oh my god, they will murder that freaking relay. As far as villains, I pretty well was taking on the Destroyer Relay, guys. Destroyer Relay, and if it was a Universal villain, I took on Universal Relays. Those things are by far the easiest. The Universal Relays, as long as you have Universal characters for them, the Destroyer Relays are amazing, guys. Those things are easy to take down. Now, as far as the speed characters, the blast characters, the combat characters, I pretty much was facing as many relays as I could. I spent about 60 to 70 million gold trying to get to that 105 mark, you guys. And so I was rolling lots of different Shadowlands, trying to get the right Shadowland for the character I was using. So for example, if it was a speed character, I was looking for a speed relay. If it was a combat character, I was looking for a combat relay. Blast character, blast relay, and so on. Now there are characters on here that can easily do rumbles, but rumbles you want to try to avoid them because usually rumbles have more HP than relays, and even though a rumble you'll take on 3 characters on the average and then you'll have to take down 1 more, they usually have more HP, so you really want to try to stick to the relays if you can. Now obviously there are characters that are amazing for rumbles. I mean, Luna, Captain Marvel, Scarlet, Psylocke, Emma. I mean, and Weapon Hex, and the list goes on, guys. There's a lot of characters that are good for rumbles, but you really want to try to focus on trying to do them speed relays. The Thor relay is actually really good too, but the Thor relay has universal characters that you face, and it has, I believe, a combat character. Yeah, a combat character that you face. So when you're facing that one, you really want to use a universal character. If your character is powerful enough, you could use a blast character. I mean, so you want to make sure you're using the optimal character. You want to make sure you use that type advantage against whatever Shadowland. Now, you guys might be surprised by some things on here. For example, Sentinel. Frickin' Sentinel doing 80 to 89, guys. Yeah. And by the way, guys, all these clears are based on their own leadership. For example, if I'm showing Strife here, doing 90 to 99, he did that with his own leadership. Same with Iceman, same with Tier 2 Iron Man, and blah, 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 blah. These characters were able to do it. Now, Tier 2 Iron Man, he can do, he'll do lower, like 81, 82, 83 on my account with my build with his own leadership. Much higher than that, he's going to need a leadership. A lot of these characters, maybe they'll do like the lower levels, like for example, well, honestly, when it comes to tier 3s, all of them can do over 100 plus. So they're all pretty freaking amazing. Now the 90 to 99 range, you guys might be surprised by tier 3 Thor and tier 3 Cap. I'm sorry guys, but Thor just with his own leadership, man, he can't go into the hundreds, guys. Not with his own leadership. Tier 3 Cap, he has the power. He definitely has the power. But his problem is he guard breaks so freaking much that he isn't able to take damage on that Tier 3. And he just doesn't get it done. Now, I imagine if properly played, you have more physical attack on your cards. I have 55% physical attack. He could do it. But to be safe, guys, this is where he belongs, at least on my account. Again, all these characters are based on my account, my builds, and I used nothing but their leaderships with no supports, guys. Remember that. The 80 to 89 range, you guys can see that, Quicksilver, Minerva, Human Torch, Victorious, and blah, 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 blah. All amazing characters. Unfortunately, guys, when you're going from 80 to 100, they're either Tier 3, Native Tier 2, or paywalls for the most part. There are a couple exceptions, like Ronin. Iceman's a crystal wall. Emma's a crystal wall. Yeah, Human Torch, and Minerva, they're both, free to play. Those are sweet. Psylocke, you guys spin crystals, and I'm sure I'm missing some things, guys. But yeah, the 70 to 79 range, again, amazing characters. Winter Soldier, amazing. He kind of has the same problem that Captain America does. He's powerful as hell, but because he does that fear and the characters are in fear the whole time, they're not really dealing damage to him. So that kind of hurts him a little bit. And then World Boss, he'll do a whole lot better because he'll be taking damage. Now you got Sue there, who's amazing for pretty much about anything. Juggernaut. Tier 2 Doctor Strange. Something else to remember, you guys, is I'm not saying any of these characters are better than other characters just because they're in like the top slots. I'm not saying Shirog's better than Luna. I'm not saying that Deadpool's better than Jean Grey. That's not what I'm saying at all. I just put them all in random orders. You guys can see that Black Widow's on the 70-79 range. She's pretty amazing, guys. Pretty amazing. She's on the lower end of it. And so on and so on. I'm not going to go into every single character, but you just always want to make sure, and I know I said this already, but you just want to make sure that you optimize your characters. Make sure you're using the type advantages. I can tell you, stay away from Avenger Rumbles. Those things suck. Stay away from Avenger Rumbles. Be aware of stages that have physical reflect and energy reflect. If you're taking in a character, a physical damage dealing character, into a stage that has physical reflect, more than likely they'll get physical reflected unless they're into iframes all the time, or you're able to guard break the opponent so much that they can't engage their physical reflect, and vice versa for energy reflect characters. Something else you guys can use this for is you can use this as a gauge as to what characters to build first on your accounts. Obviously, the higher the Shadowland floor, the more powerful they are. So, if you're a free-to-play player, look for the free-to-play characters in these higher Shadowland stages to know who to build first. And same old, same old. And you can also look at the order that you can use these characters, You can use Ancient One. My Ancient One isn't built very well at all. I do have 83% energy tech, but he can take on a Hawk Rumble. He can do a Relay. He's actually not too bad. He's in the lower 30s, he's not too bad. I believe I did a stage 35 with him. Mantis, kind of the same thing. All these characters can do more, a lot of them. You see I got Spidey 2099 in Aqua, and I got Spidey 2099 plus U, which means plus his uni, in the green. In Aqua, he could do level, at level 60 with a base build, he could do 49 to 40, but in the green there, where it says Spidey 2099 plus U, which means plus his uni, I got pretty much a max build. He can easily go into the 80s, guys. Easily. I think even under the right circumstances, he might be able to push 90, but this is with his leadership. Now, with another leadership, he can definitely push into the 90s. Another tidbit, you guys, is you want to avoid wave modes. Like I mentioned earlier, you want to avoid the Avengers Rumbles and wave modes, and definitely avoid entry modes if you can. Those stages have characters with multiple different type advantages, and that can really hurt you as far as the damage that you're going to do to them. You guys see that I got Molten Man, Hydro Man, and Mysterio all in the level 70 plus club. Freaking amazing characters, and those are just base builds at level 60, guys. Those dudes are mean. So if you level 70 them up and built them up really well, they'll easily go into the 80s, guys. They will. They're freaking strong. And yeah, and like I said, I'm not going to cover all these. I got a little question mark next to She-Hulk there because I'm not really sure. She's the one character on this entire list that I didn't really test, so I'm not really sure. I think if she's facing male characters and she's built up pretty well, she'll definitely go into the 50s. She might go into the 60s, I'm not sure. But guys, All these characters that I'm putting here, I know can do these levels because I've done it on my account, except for Tier 3 Doctor Strange. If you want me to do a different Shadowland guide, if you want me to put like the max potential of these characters in Shadowland, if you want me to put the Shadowland stages that I faced, because I actually logged all of the stages that I faced. I logged everything. For the last 5 weeks, I've actually kept track of the stages that I fought, the characters that I used for them, the floors that I did, and blah blah blah. I kept track of everything. So if you guys need more information, let me know and I'll change this guide and I'll add some things to it. So guys, I want to show you guys a little gameplay though from one specific character. Now I just want to highlight this dude because he is amazing in Shadowland. This guy is ridiculous. Oh, and by the way guys, I'll put the link in the description below as far as taking a look at this guide, and I'll also have it in my Discord as well. But let's get back to the guy we're talking about. Tier 3 Magneto. And I need to put with a uni there. That guy is ridiculous. So let's take a look at his build. Now let's talk about this guy. But before I get into that, guys, something I should have clarified. When I mentioned that you should, use the Shadowland guide, as far as what characters to build first, you should always take in, what characters are good for ABX, what characters are good for PvP, what characters are good for World Boss. It really depends on the kind of player as to which characters you build first. When I made that statement, I'm talking about Shadowland specifically, and that's it. Now, I don't expect you to build characters just for Shadowland, but, when you're setting up a guide for Shadowland, that's kind of how you have to look at it, as far as, how you build your characters. Now, let's talk about old Magneto. This guy's pretty ridiculous. Now, in World Boss, this guy isn't very good. He lacks a lot of survivability. He can die pretty easy, guys. All he's got is a freaking guard. That's it. He's got some iframe action, but he's just got this guard. That's it. No invincibility, no immunity to all damage. His iframes they won't keep, they're not long enough, and they don't keep him an iframe long enough. You can beat World Boss with him, but it's really difficult. There's a lot of other characters that are just way better, to be honest. Now, my Magneto is decked out. This guy is all decked out. He has almost 47,000 energy attack. He has a max attack speed, more or less, 45 crit rate, 175 critical damage, 50% ignore defense, max ignore defense, and max skill cooldown. He has all 5-star Urus. He's tier 3, and all of his skills are at 6. And one of the reasons this guy is so amazing is this tier 2 passive. Increases damage dealt to human characters by 80%, guys. 80%. And by the way, another reason is rage is good on this guy is because he increases all debuff effect by 10% and duration by 20%, which really helps that rage. But that 80% increase of damage to humans is really why he's so good in Shadowland. He has amazing crowd control and this all defense down. Now this is only a 5-second all defense down. It doesn't have a stack, but it's an immediate 18% decrease of all defenses. But it's on an 8-second cooldown, which means that you can hit this every 4 seconds. Therefore, you'll always have this all defense down up. So on top of having the 80% extra damage to humans, you'll also have freaking all defense down applying the whole time. This guy's freaking nuts in Shadowland. Seriously. He is up there as far as the best for Shadowland, guys. He's also the ABX meta for Blast Villain Day too. He has a fully awakened Power of Angry Hawk set, and he has the CTP of energy with a 2% damage proc. I don't even have a rage on this guy. And his uniform is at Mythic. So guys, we're going to take him into stage 106 Shadowland against a wave mode. So let's see how he does. Let's rock and roll. Now check this out, guys. We're going to be doing stage 106 wave mode, okay? This is crazy. This is the ones I say you should avoid. Don't mind Miles. He's just there for fodder to get a Shadowland token. Now Kingpin is a human. So, and Magneto is a blast character, so he has the type advantage. So he has the type advantage over Kingpin. He has the all defense down applying. You see that little blue text next to Kingpin, which means the all defense down's applying. And he has the 80% extra damage. And look at the way he's melting this freaking guy that has 27 million HP. He is destroying this thing. Look at him. Waves are rough, guys, because you have a time limit. You're really trying to do each wave. You have 3 waves, and you're trying to do each one within a minute. And look at this guy, 106. He did that in 40 seconds. Now, Ronin is going to be a different story. Ronin doesn't have, Magneto doesn't have an advantage over Ronin because he's a universal. Plus, Ronin is an alien. He's considered an alien. He's not a human. So now we're just doing raw damage with that all defense down. And something I should have mentioned is Magneto's tier 3 skill also has all defense down. So those all defense downs actually stack on top of each other between the tier 3 and the 2 skill. I mean, this guy's freaking nuts. Even though he doesn't have an advantage at all against Ronin, he's taking him down, guys. Like, seriously, this dude is one of the most reliable Shadowland monsters you could ever have. I mean, seriously, guys, like if you're building your, if you're a competitive ABX player and you want the best blast villain, here he is. But on top of that, this guy is god tier in Shadowland. He is retarded strong. I'm just mashing buttons, guys. I'm not trying to time a damage proc, nothing. I'm just mashing buttons. That's pretty much what I'm doing. I just make sure I hit that 4, keep that guard up the whole time, and I make sure I hit that 2. And then I just run through the 5, the 1, and the 3 off cooldowns. That's pretty much what I'm doing. When I see a skill off cooldown, I hit it. I mean, it's ridiculous. And now he's facing Red Skull, who actually has the type advantage over Magneto. Magneto's actually at a disadvantage against Red Skull, but Magneto's still getting that 80% damage dealt to him because Red Skull's a human. I mean, this dude's ridiculous, man. 106 wave mode? I had to show you guys this. I had to highlight this because Magneto is one of my favorite villains in Marvel. And really one of my favorite villains in all of comics. And I wanted to, showcase this and showed at least how good he is here. He's not very good against World Boss, but boy, in this, guys, he's a murdering machine. Jesus, this guy's crazy strong. Awesome. So, guys, let me know what you think about Magneto's little clear here. And let me know if you'd like me to make changes to the Shadowland guide and what you think about it. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one.